In the innovation economy, technology disruption results in rapid change. Change is the new normal. As an enterprise decision maker, the challenge is to make change happen for you and not to you. Web applications, mobile applications, systems integration, business automation, and data analytics, not to mention staffing. When it comes to your every waking working hour just to stay competitive, how do you make your business thrive amid constant change? Greetings, everyone, and welcome from the Technology Association of Georgia. It's August 18, 2015, and this is Tech Talk. I'm your host, Frank Baia. Technology solutions. The experts say the answer is simple, but in today's new normal, the challenge is in defining, designing, building, and supporting the right solution at the right time, crucial to turning your idea into reality. Up to the Tech Talk, not just change, positive change, the kind that can only come from a consulting partner with a culture of operations and people that match not only your needs, but your beliefs and your mission. On this edition of Tech Talk, we speak with Vice President and co-founder of SolTech, Veanne Smith, an industry thought leader and top executive with extensive proven results in recruiting top industry talent and providing leadership in company sales and marketing. Her unique background combines a bachelor's degree in computer science with professional experience in software design and development, project and personnel management, recruiting, and sales and marketing. A recognized software industry expert in the fields of financial, pharmaceutical, and manufacturing industries, as well as in professional services and senior project management, analysis, and programming, she has worked with Coca-Cola, IBM, Bell South, and Sprint, to mention only but a few, as well as with a number of rapidly growing startups. It's all about change, and whether that change happens to you or for you, as we Tech Talk technology solutions in today's innovation economy with Vice President and co-founder of SolTech, Veanne Smith. This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by GlobalSpeak.com, new media consultants, corporate video and audio communications, video and audio production and distribution, live and virtual event production. Tag TV and Tag Radio is a service of GlobalSpeak.com, creatively delivering powerful marketing, video, and audio solutions. Veanne, welcome to Tech Talk.
Hi, Frank. It's nice to be here on the program with you.
You know, one of the things about SolTech is the fact that you've been not only in business for a long period of time, but really have made a substantial impact in the marketplace, in the greater Atlanta marketplace, certainly in Buckhead. Let's talk a little bit about the evolution of the company, maybe go into a little bit of the background, and if you feel comfortable, talk about some of the changes that you've seen over the last, probably, I'm going to guess, nearly 17, 20 years. Am I right? It's been that long, I believe.
Yes, it's hard to believe that we just celebrated our 17th anniversary. So what's really great about it is the realization that I'm doing what I truly love, so the years have just flown by. And in my opinion, what keeps it fun is the constant variety of people that we engage with, the different industries that we work within, and the diversity of problems that we solve for our clients. And I just want to maybe mention from a human interest perspective, many people I talk to are always intrigued to hear that SolTech is led by a husband and wife team. My husband, Tim, and I started SolTech together back in 1998.
Wow.
So that's something that makes us a little unique. I guess there are a lot of family-run businesses, but we are true equals and partners in the firm and complement each other well, so it's been a fun ride.
Well, it's hard to be a trusted confidant and an advisor and literally a thought leader in an area I jokingly say where you're building the plane while you're flying it. Certainly in the area of software, certainly in the area of staffing. I think those are two disciplines I'd like to touch on today. It's not just about providing what's a solution, it's providing the solution almost du jour. We jokingly say that everything seems to be so 20 minutes ago. Let's talk a little bit about, from a client perspective, we're going to look at software. Is there any difference between one company or another as far as, because certainly today there's a lot of software firms in Atlanta.
Oh, there are indeed a number of IT services firms located here in Atlanta. One of the first things that I think helps us stand out is the fact that there are very few project-based development firms here that are actually founded and headquartered here. Meaning that the executive management team is here and that all the employees that are doing the work are located here. Here at SolTech, we don't offshore any of our development. We have a staff of full-time employees, and we are accustomed to taking on, project-based efforts where our clients need us to provide pricing, timetables, and then be committed to delivering for that price and time that we've committed to. So there just really aren't that many located in Atlanta. So that's certainly one of the areas that I think helps us stand out.
Well, the bottom line, and most entrepreneurs would agree with this, is either show me how I can save money or show me how I can make money. And certainly I think the software technology business really represents you're either creating products or services for your customers or helping them run their organization so that they can grow and scale. That's a pretty challenging situation, and I'm sure, as you mentioned, you've addressed a lot of different challenges over the course of time. Is it getting more complicated or less complicated as it relates to things like cloud computing and some of the high-speed connectivity? It would seem that the solutions are even more, there's more possibilities, but the challenges are equally as great.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective. So certainly there seems to be a new tool or a new best practice or a new platform every other day, right? So I think one of the things we got lucky with when we started SolTech back in '98 was we chose to be fairly technology agnostic, not hanging a shingle around any one tool or specific technology. And we really can be unbiased with our clients when they come to us looking for a solution. So one of the things that, keeps us exciting is, every day we have to keep up with the latest and greatest and, have experts across all this technology. So one of the things that I think has changed, back in the day when I used to be a developer, I don't want to say what I was writing code with, but, back in the COBOL days, there were just a few things that you had to learn. But today our engineers have to be reading, they have to be trying different products, they have to collaborate. It's just a much faster-paced environment today. So that's certainly a lot different than it was back when we started in '98.
Well, that really brings up a great segue, because one of the other things I'm interested in is the challenge that happens with staffing and staffing services in that same kind of vertical or same environment. I think most of us would agree that technology is really a people business as much as it is anything else. You've got sort of a double challenge in terms of attracting and keeping the kinds of employees you need to be successful and dynamic, and yet you're also in the business of providing that to your clients. Talk a little bit about that challenge.
Yeah, that's good. For our own hiring, one of the things we did a year ago is, we spent about a year looking for a new office space and realizing, after visiting lots of different clients myself and seeing what the younger workforce enjoyed, in terms of environment and culture, we spent about a year looking at various office spaces and working with a design firm to build really a state-of-the-art collaborative office environment that we moved into here about a year ago. And, it's all about, as I was saying then, it's all about building a space that our employees want to be, where they want to be. So as candidates come in, they experience, this very open environment with a lot of energy and collaboration, and we really have no walls here. Everything is glass or open, and every employee has a 360-degree view of downtown Atlanta. Wow. So, we're trying to get the young, workforce interested in working here, first of all, but more importantly, once they get here, we want them to want to stay here. And so, it's much better from a socialization perspective, and we've found that to be a huge benefit for us in the last year as the demand for, the technology professional continues to get stronger and stronger. We all know that we're facing a challenge here in terms of the amount of talent being produced and the amount of demand that there is for that technology resource here in Atlanta. Which
actually brings up the other point, and that is, what about the clients and the demands of finding that kind of help for their staffing needs?
Right. So, so I mentioned that we do project-based work, but we, about 7 to 10 years ago, started adding on what we call a staffing services piece of our business, where we can offer recruiting, perm placement work, and supplemental staffing solutions to our clients. And that really happened as a result of them realizing that we were really good at hiring not only extremely talented technology professionals, but also those that had strong business acumen, which can sometimes be challenging in the engineering world that we live in. And so, so we've been doing a lot of staffing, and I think one of the things that we do really well is we spend the time getting to understand our client and their culture, and that takes sitting down, having face-to-face visits, going out and visiting their office. And really, one of the questions I always ask my client is, okay, so I've seen your office, I understand what you're looking for, I understand what you need, but now we need to talk about the sizzle. what is it about you and the organization in the future that is going to be exciting for a candidate who's going to have probably 3 to 5 offers within a week? So what is it? What's your story? What's the sizzle? And what is it that this candidate's going to enjoy if they choose to come work with you? And I think we do a really good job at nailing in on that. One of the things that we're always proud of is, we realize that our clients are paying us decent money to help them in their recruiting efforts. And we know we need to do the heavy lifting. So rather than, take the order and send them 20 pieces of paper with names and, items on the checklist that say, hey, they can do this and that, we really zone in and get the culture fit, and we present 1 or 2 candidates to help them fill the position so they don't have to do all that heavy lifting. And it's just such, I get thank you so many times for really making it easy.
I like the term culture fit.
We are hiring people, yeah.
I like the term culture fit. I think any of our listeners would completely understand exactly what you mean, and it's almost like a match kind of thing, a Match.com sort of an analogy in terms of knowing the right fit and the right person in the right place, and the talent certainly is a criteria without question crucial, but the other side of it is that culture match that you're talking about. That's really an interesting perspective. What about size?
I always laugh. I think there's an instinct that comes along with doing that well, and I always laugh because in my years working here, we've matched up people who've gotten married, and there is so much more to it than just technology. And you hit it. It's just culture, and what's going to work well in an environment, and it's relationships that really keep people working together.
Well, and that's evolved and become even more important than it's ever have. It's always been, I think, important in terms to a degree. But the bottom line is when you've got the kind of demand and the kind of perks and incentives, we jokingly will say from a marketing or advertising standpoint, you can't buy a market anymore. You have to earn it. I'm not sure. Well, certainly there is enough money to attract a particular person, but if that culture match isn't there, if some of the other things aren't there, the passion and the commitment in terms of feeling that there's a positive agenda beyond just making money, I think some of those criteria have to come into play depending on the culture and have that kind of sensitivity and the gift for matching it up. It's no small wonder why you guys are doing as good as you are. Let's talk a little bit about, it seems like I almost jokingly want to say everybody's a startup. Even if you've been in business 10 years and haven't succeeded, you're a startup. But that jokingly said, do you guys focus on a particular size? Does it really make a difference in terms of criteria like culture? I mean, I'm talking, a comparison, say, from a startup to a full-blown enterprise.
Well, so we do work with companies of all sizes, and the fun thing about technology today is that businesses of all and any size rely on it, and that with all the options and approaches out there today, technology really has become more affordable for most. So while some of the most rewarding work we do today is with funded startups, we particularly love working with that business executive who can take an idea and turn it into a viable software product and then see some ROI out of it, right? Mm. So that's certainly some of the most rewarding work we do. But equally, we love working with growing mid-markets, large Fortune 500 companies. It's just that everybody has different needs. Some people are looking to scale their operations by leveraging technologies. Others are working to replace legacy systems with modern technology that's easier to maintain and more efficient to use. And in other cases, the goal is to create an enterprise platform that doesn't exist today, that has both web and mobile access for all the different users that they need to communicate with. And then we're also dealing with multiple points of integration today, whether it be devices, other systems. Integration is much more complicated than it used to be. So today we don't have any preference. Yeah, go ahead.
Interoperability. I mean, you not only have integration internally, but you've got now platforms,
yep.
Especially, for example, in the area of health IT, I think you've got a real case of platforms talking to platforms that aren't necessarily collaborative. Let's talk a little bit about, from a standpoint, we'll often say in Tech Talk, because we go across horizontally every vertical, not vertically down a particular segment, that when you really start to look at it, it's the same thing, only different. High-speed connectivity, applications, the cloud, digitalization, analytics. Now we got predictive and prescriptive analytics. I think a lot of that is, when it boils down to it, you can minimize it down to a single word, but that word's pretty strong, and that's technology. Are there particular industries where technology is really put to good use better than say, in others, or is it a case where pretty much it's equal?
Well, I would say that it's pretty equal. I mean, we work along. I don't know if there's any industry that we haven't worked with and applied technology for the benefit of that business, right? You know, we've done manufacturing, financial services, transportation, hospitality, education, you know, construction, technology firms, and lastly, you talk about healthcare IT. That's certainly an area that we have done work within for ever since we started, and it's one that we particularly are excited about right now, as the change and the transformation going on in the healthcare space is just you know, major at the moment. So while we do work across all industries, we are certainly enjoying the healthcare IT space and putting a little bit more focus on it actually at the moment.
We'll talk about that focus. Is it a case where you're doing anything different than what you've done in the past? And not to imply antiquated or vintage type approaches, but are you using technology to sell technology? I guess where I'm going is, like, for example, videos and that kind of thing?
Right, yes. So one of the things that we are actually in the middle of launching right now is we are working with many of our clients and even others that we know in the healthcare IT space to launch a video series. One of the things that we would like to do is be recognized as an agent of information and change in all the transformation that's going on in healthcare. So we're launching, it's in production right now, a video series where we're talking to our clients about, you know, areas of expertise that they've dealt with, challenges that they've overcome, best practices, how are they dealing with security, you know, how do you transport the patient record across all the different integration points. You know, just the topics are endless. But, yeah, so we're excited about that and very anxious to get some collaboration out there to benefit those other folks besides our clients in this space.
Well, even though you've been doing it for a while, and with the constant change, I guess it's almost something new every day when you get to the office. I don't know about you, but I have 5 or 8 things I plan on doing, and I end up doing 20 during that day, and I don't even get to the 5 or 8 I started out with. So I think everybody.
That's every day here at SolTech.
Right.
That's every day here at SolTech.
Well, with that said, I want to really appreciate you taking a few minutes out of, I know what is a chaotically busy schedule, great growth, great opportunities that are happening. We hear so much about SolTech, great success, congratulations. But again, thank you so much for taking time out of a really busy schedule to join us for a few minutes today on Tech Talk.
Thanks so much, Frank. It's been a pleasure.